Hello friends, today we will discuss about objectives and features of comparative politics. So let's start. The major objectives of comparative politics. What is the objectives? It means what is the aims of comparative politics. It means why we do the study of comparative politics. It means what are the relevance of study of comparative politics. It means why comparative politics have an important role play in human life. Basically, many objectives of comparative politics, but we can say that five major objectives of comparative politics which following are. Number one is you can see in this slide philosophical objectives. Basically, politics in the beginning era, and we can say comparative government in the before 4th BC and till 19th century. Comparative politics called and known as comparative government. Because in this era, comparative politics study material, vocabulary, and political perspective concerned with the political philosophy. We can say that it was the philosophy of political science. It means in beginning era objectives of comparative politics to achieve a philosophical objects of human lives such as from Aristotle to Karl Marx. Aristotle wants to make a good life for human. Aristotle states that a state and or as an organization a state have emerged due to good life of human and continuously state exist with the good life of human. And as a last philosopher, Karl Marx states that a better society human as a classless, stateless, and religiousless society. It means from Plato and Aristotle to Karl Marx and so on, any philosopher, any political philosopher wants to make a better society for human. It means comparative politics also include the philosophical objectives in his discipline. So it is the first major objectives of comparative politics that create a better society for human in all world. Then next objectives is that scientific objectives. Basically traditional political science and the core part of political science which known as comparative politics belong to political philosophy. But now comparative politics want to become a scientific manner as a discipline. So comparative politics wants to use scientific method to the study of public behavior and the political behavior of human in the world and the all types of political scenario and all types of political systems. So comparative politics includes scientific method and methodology from Aristotle to A.D. Tocqueville till David Easton, Armand Powell, Peter Evans, and so on. So, second major objectives of comparative politics is that to convert comparative politics as a scientific manner, and the third objective of comparative politics is application of knowledge. It means comparative politics wants to apply the knowledge of comparative politics and the knowledge of any type humankinds and any type human activity. It means comparative politics wants to make a better society, but it will be possible when any theoretical knowledge to execute a practical aspect. It means comparative politics wants to application of knowledge of human behavior like ombudsman institution as institution implemented in Sweden 1890 AD. But it is not apply many countries before 20th mid-century. Why? And for instance, in India, later on 21st century, it means it is the not applicable of knowledge and not apply the knowledge of comparative politics. But comparative politics wants to make a better society, so this type knowledge to execute in practical manner like Lokpal and Lokayukt in India. So application of knowledge is the third core objectives of comparative politics that you know in behavioral revolution all behavioralists wants to convert political science and traditional political science into modern political science. It means facts and facts and facts. Lord Bright states that we want only facts and facts. Our decision and conclusion will be depend on only and only facts. They want to make the study material, vocabulary, and political perspective of political science as a pure science. But it was a major mistake of political thinkers. So comparative politics after 1970 will be after 1970 become a popular subject and discipline. Why? Because application of knowledge. Because comparative politics wants to application of knowledge. It means what is the reality. So comparative politics notes want to become comparative politics as a discipline into pure science. It wants to make social science, but which depends upon actual knowledge of society. Comparative politics wants to become a value, not a value free theory building, but it is a theory building depends upon scientific value, and theories will be based on scientific human values. It means post-modern era and post-behavioralist approach, which was more effective and practical rather than modern era and behavioral movement and revolution. And the fourth major objectives of comparative politics is implementation of public policy. In general, we can say that comparative politics concerned with the within politics, within state politics, within nation politics, within the states. Any states make a public policy as a welfare state. Generally, French political philosopher Montesquieu's words, three parts of government, legislature, executive, and the judiciary. One is rule making, second is rule application, and third is rule adjourn. So, public policy, which formulated by the legislature and which executed by the executive agency and the permanent political executive, and so on, many names called and known as. In Max Weber's word, bureaucracy. So implementation of public policy means in real sense execute of the public policy. Comparative politics not want to implementation of public policy as a theory, as a documentation, as a documental line. It is wants to apply in practical manner and actual manner. Otherwise, many good public policy in different and various countries are failed. And the next and last major objectives of comparative politics, it is to achieve the aims of global state. You can see in this slide global state. You know, global village. You have studied and you have learned about global village, but comparative politics wants to not to create global village, it wants to create a global state, because comparative politics studied the politics of within nations and within the states. So comparative politics wants to create a global state and global citizenship and global environment. It means a good life and a good society for all human at global level as a human rights. It means it is the major aims of comparative politics is to achieve the aims of global state, and these aims achieve via combination fraternity of state at world level. So these are major above are major objectives of comparative politics. Today's second topic is the major features of comparative politics. What are the characteristics of comparative politics? Many features of comparative politics, but we can discuss about six major features and characteristics of comparative politics. Features of comparative politics define the meaning and scope and the nature of comparative politics as a discipline or as a study of subject. The first features is that the study of structures. You know that traditional political science and the beginning comparative politics was belong to formal institutions, formal study, institutionalism, legalistic manners, historical, philosophical, descriptive, normative, speculative. But now, comparative politics exists as a independent discipline of political science and the sub branch of political science. So today's major features of comparative politics is that the study of structures. Comparative politics study of structures. It means structures involve the all types organization, not only state and their institution, and non-state politics, non-governmental organization, international organization, tribes, communities, and other types organization. It means political parties, pressure groups, public opinion, etc. are involved in the study of comparative politics. So it is the major features of comparative politics. Second is empirical and analytical research. Basically, empirical study is belong to modern political science and modern era of comparative politics. It is a scientific method as inductive method which used by the Aristotle in 4th BC. Then analytical research, it means now comparative politics don't descriptive or normative study, but it is doing empirical and as well as analytical research via comparative method and comparative analysis. So it is the second features of comparative politics. Third is a study of developing societies. You know, evolution of comparative politics as a discipline we can identify and we can trace in three phases. First phase is basically belong to Eurocentric and focused on Euro, European political systems. And then modern era partially belong to third world. And the postmodern era, it is not belong to only developed states and developing states, underdeveloped states, but it is belong to all type activities of human society as a public activity, as a public behavior, as a political activity. So third major features of comparative politics is the study of developing societies, because for long times developing society ignored by the political scientists. So now developing societies and backward societies and tribes and other communities are involved in the study of comparative politics. Then fourth major features is that improvement of interdisciplinary approach. It is the major features of comparative politics because all over the world is a living laboratory of comparative politics. Its instrument is human behavior, and human behavior change according to situations. It means according to change according to time, change according to country, change according to situations. If change in geography, if change in history, if change in culture, if change in psychology, if change in economy, in change in politics, in change in social environment, and in change in environment, then behavior will also change. So its changeable behavior investigate by the interdisciplinary approach. So it is the major and important features of comparative politics. Then Second last features of comparative politics is that study and building of value-free political theories. But it means not only fact-based political theories. It is belong to and it is concerned with the scientific value of human. It means building of democracy. It means building of political theories. It means building of political socialization, political development, political culture, political decay, and etc. So comparative politics wants to make theory building which depends upon scientific value and universal value. Then last features is that vertical and horizontal comparison. Vertical comparison, it means comparison is a vertical style within a state. For instance, we do compare between the federal system in India, parliamentary system in India, and political decentralization in India, central level, regional level, it means state and unit levels, and then local governments. Three-tier system, it means it is a vertical comparison. And then horizontal comparison means comparison within the line. It means what are the similarities, what are the differences, and what are the same patterns and different patterns in US federal system and Indian federal system, in Swiss federal system and Australian federal system, which comparison known as horizontal comparison. So our lecture have been completed with this topic about major features of comparative politics. Thank you so much. You can watch my all videos on YouTube at Samota Online Classes, and you can contact for any query. My mobile number 9784084824, and you can write down at my email Gmail kailashappy1986 at gmail.com. Thank you so much.